Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another Fate Reforged Swiss draft. We got Flooded Strand, which is still worth like 4.5 tickets, so I'm gonna have to take that. But otherwise, I'd probably just snap up the Sage Eye Avengers. I played it a couple times. I think it's a great card. Other good cards in here. I like Honor's Reward. I like Avon Surveyor. Typhoid Rats is good, and Whisper of the Wilds is good as well. But we're going to take 4.5 tickets to start it off and see where we go from there. All right. Passed a good blue rare in Monastery Siege. I don't have a problem taking that. There is Bathe in Dragonfire in here as well. And I guess we did just pass a good blue card. But if my opponent passed a good blue rare in Monastery Siege, which I do think this is a good blue rare, and for an uncommon, then I would say they're not really interested in blue. I would find it hard to believe that they would take a blue uncommon over this rare, because this rare is like, it's like drawing an extra card every turn. Even if it's not like drawing an extra card each turn because you have to discard, it makes your delve stuff easier to cast. And on top of that, it definitely increases your card quality. So it is a legitimately good card, and I feel fine second picking it here over Bathe in Dragonfire, which is probably the next best pick, just because it's a good removal spell. But I'd rather get the potential card advantage of Monastery Siege here. All right. Now we have some options. I still think Channel Harm's a good card. Haven't seen it played much, but I don't know why. I mean, it is 6 mana, but pretty powerful card. I mean, it's quite the combat trick, actually. If you're doing a combat where things are trading, things are suddenly not trading, their guys are dying, and all of that damage is dealt to a creature of your choice instead. I like Channel Harm. I think it's a good card. Like I said, I haven't seen it played yet. I've played with it. I've been satisfied. Otherwise, I could take like Whisk Away, which is fine. Arishan Cleric. I don't have to make this Flooded Strand work either. But otherwise, I'm taking like a Mardu Scout, just as like a color-intensive 2-drop creature that's okay. I like Channel Harm. I'm going to take it. It does limit us to Jeskai if I want to make both of these cards work. But that's okay. That is okay. All right. Sky Captain seems fine. Yeah, I mean, Sky Captain's a good card. I'm trying to think if there's something else in here that's really catching my attention. I could just go for the 2-drop here. Sky Captain flies, though, which I do like, and it bolsters. Both of those abilities are pretty good. Humble Defector's basically a Goblin Piker with an ability sometimes. I like the Sky Captain. I'm going to take it. Okay, second Sky Captain, but I think we'd rather have the Lotus Path Djinn, since we're in the color combination that likely is going to be just Sky. I probably would prefer to have the Lotus Path Djinn. I do actually like the Sky Captain a lot, but I think the extra toughness on Lotus Path Djinn makes it the pick here. I mean, Prowess is quite good too, especially when you're in the, color combination for it. So I'll take the Lotus Path Djinn. Maybe we play like Blue-White Skies, something like that. All right, this is interesting. There is a Soul Summons. Some people don't have the love for the Dragon Bell Monk. I think since we're very likely in a deck that can activate Prowess quite often, I probably want the Dragon Bell Monk. I actually really like this card. I don't like it if you're in like a deck that's not going to be able to get value off of it, but I think our deck very easily can. And if we end up Jeskai, which I would like to do, although, yeah, this one's good for that too, actually, with the blue permanents. But let's take the Prowess guy. I mean, my kind of rule of thumb in general is if I'm playing Jeskai, I want as many Prowess dudes as humanly possible. Another Soul Summons. There's a Lotus Eye Mystics, which does have Prowess. But at this point, I'm kind of more tempted to take the Soul Summons here, even though I did want more prowess guys. The reason I want the Soul Summons here is this card is a 2-drop creature, which is very good in an aggressive Jeskai deck or blue-white deck if we end up 2-color. I still don't like 2-color as much as 3-color, by the way. I've had a few people now telling me in comments that how viable 2-color is, and it's like, I'm not trying to argue with you that 2-color is viable. I'm trying to say that 3-color is consistently better. I'm going to take the Soul Summons here over the 4-drop, just because I feel like I can fill up on 4-drops probably a little bit easier. I don't have a problem taking another Sky Captain here over an Enhanced Awareness and Abzan Advantage. Both of which are fine, but not terribly exciting. Could take the Cunning Strike, which is a fine Jeskai card. I'm a little more tempted by the Arishan Cleric, though, I think. It's going to work a little bit better if I have like a Cleric and a Sky Captain out. That's kind of nice, actually. So I'll take the Cleric. I like having some early plays, and I'm willing to stay open to 2-color until I see the 3-color, the 3rd-color card that makes me want to dip into that. Okay, I like Will of the Naga. I think I want the 2nd Dragon Bell Monk here, though. Like I said, I like these cards, and we can pick up some Defiant Strikes and stuff that'll make them much better. But let's just get a bunch of prowess guys, low-costed ones preferably. But yeah, for now and actually like a Sky Captain bolstering a Dragon Bell Monk is pretty awesome too. 4/4 Vigilance minimum, pretty good. 2nd Arishan Cleric seems fine. No problems there. Skirmisher, reasonable card, certainly. I don't see why not. Could take the Mardu Rune Mark, but that's all right. Let's take the Flyer. So, look like we have a pretty decent beginning to a beatdown deck. All right, Skirmishers for days. We'll take the Neutralizing Blast for like sideboard. And we got a last pick, Tassiger's Cruelty. Okay, this is interesting. Could take the Kill Shot. Not quite as good with aggressive decks, however. Maybe the Force Away is better. I think Force Away probably is better because of tempo. I like Waterworld too. It's just a bit expensive, which I don't like. Yeah, so do I want to take just Force Away here is really the question. Force Away, I think, like I said, is probably better for our deck just because of the tempo aspect of it. Waterworld can be a tempo play, but because it's 6 mana, it's a little bit more difficult. I think I'm going to play the low curve card of Force Away here pretty happily. Okay, Misfire Weaver is good. I mean, Singing Bellstrike, this is actually a deck that can play it, but it's also Smite the Monstrous. I like the Misfire Weaver, though. Let's get another flyer. Misfire Weaver's a great card in general anyway, so I'm fine with it here. We might be able to make blue-white work. I'm not even, like, working towards it, and we're just getting it, so I don't mind playing blue-white skies, but I kind of want to upgrade the Skirmishers. They're not really impressing me all that much. I mean, they're okay. 1 mana, 1/1 flyers are kind of nothing special, though. All right, Mystic seems good. There's a Kill Shot as well. I think I like the Mystic more. I feel like we kind of want to be evasion.deck, especially alongside these life gain blocking stuff. And we already have like quite a few flyers. I do like Kill Shot. I think I'm still gonna go for Mystic. That's a close one. I mean, because I do have a decent creature count already. Probably want removal quite a bit. All right, I guess I take the kill shot here. Just because I guess my main reasoning is blue-white doesn't have a ton of actual hard removal, and kill shot is a pretty good one. My issue was it's not very good with prowess, like offensively, which is still true, but it's okay. All right, we finally miss. We haven't missed this whole time either, which is kind of surprising. We're still like primarily white with just a little bit of blue. I could take Scaldkin. It does fly. It's a pretty unexciting pick. I mean, I think I want the Swift Spear the most, but red has, I feel like, not been terribly open this whole time. How likely am I to play Scaldkin, especially considering I can't even use the activated ability? I want to say not very. Yeah, it's really not that exciting in this deck. But I guess Swift Spear doesn't seem super likely to happen. All right, I guess we'll take Scaldkin. I don't really like it. Okay. I think Smite is actually fine here. There's a Dragon Throne, which is a card I like more than most people do. I could take it. It's pretty slow is the main issue with it, but like I said, I like it more than most people do. I don't think it's very good in our deck. We don't have a ton of high power things, so I guess I'm not super impressed with it. Let's just take the Smite, which is a pretty good removal spell most of the time. Okay. Wetland Sandbar's fine. Not exciting, but we'll take some 2-drop creatures. I guess we're pretty likely a 2-color deck at this point, I would say. All right, I actually like Scion of Glaciers. I think it's a good card, so I'll take that. Jeskai Student seems like a good pickup. Quiet Contemplation is a card I've played and I think is fine, but 2-drop Prowess on color seems good. Let's cut the Scaldkin already. Now I kind of just wish I'd taken a Monastery Swift Spear over it, since I just don't think I'm even going to play it. And I guess red's not going to pan out anyway, it would appear. We're already like 3. We have a pack left and we still have like plenty of cards to pick up in blue and white. So I guess we are going to be 2-color. I'd like some more finishers, but we can, I mean, we're easily a 17 land deck. And I want to say possibly 16, but that's probably greedy. I think here I just take the Blossoming Sands in case I want to be a Bant deck for some crazy reason. All right. Singing Bellstrike is not a card I like I said, but pretty reasonable in this deck. Actually, very reasonable in this deck. All right, Set Adrift is a card I can consider playing since it's removal. Brave the Sands is a fine sideboard card. Blinding Spray is actually a card I've played before, so I'll take it. I actually think this card is fine. If anywhere you're playing it in a prowess deck, since it is a pretty excellent trick alongside your prowess guys. I don't think we need the Taigam Scheming, but I'll cut blue. So how many do we currently have prowess-wise? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 prowess guys, and the only one I passed up was the 4-drop one for the 2-drop one, 2-drop soul summons, which I don't regret now that we have all of these good 4-drops. Like, all of our 4-drops are very good at this point. So if we can just get some nice solid 1 and 2-drop creatures out of this next pack, we'll be in pretty good shape. I can't think of a ton of... Oh my god, we open Wingmate Rock? That's just amazing. That's awesome. So we picked that up. That's our 23rd card. I think our first upgrade is probably the Blinding Spray or the Set Adrift, both of which are fine but not like amazing. But yeah, Wingmate Rock is pretty incredible. I could take the Treasure Cruise. How many early trades are we doing? We already have Monastery Siege too for some nice card draw. Otherwise, I'm taking a Student, which is certainly a less powerful card, but I might actually just want it to be the nice tempo plays, to get the nice tempo plays I want. Currently have 15 creatures, including the Soul Summons. And we have a pretty good Skies list. Could also table the Jeskai Student. I think I'd probably take Treasure Cruise. It's a pretty powerful card. And then I think we'll probably, I guess, sideboard the Blinding Spray. Okay, probably taking Wind Scout over anything. There's a Defiant Strike, which is quite good too, but I think we take the Wind Scout. It flies, I want it. And I guess at this point we cut the Set Adrift. We do have a Monastery Siege to help fill our yard for it, but can take or leave that card, and Wind Scout's pretty good. Okay, Take Up Arms is very good with Prowess. Timely Horde Mate's fine too, but I think we actually just take the Take Up Arms. And I probably cut a Skirmisher for it. I don't mind running one Skirmisher. It does fly, but like I said, 1-mana 1/1s, especially if we don't have any ways to make them bigger. I guess we do have Sky Captains, which we can bolster onto. Yeah, it's a reasonable argument. But, I mean, I still think I like Sandbar more than Skirmisher just because it's got 2 power. Like, 1-mana 1/1 flyer, I feel like this deck is, because it's a warrior, it's essentially made for Abzan decks that want to capitalize on warriors. Take Up Arms is obviously good just because it works as a combat trick alongside Prowess. So it definitely makes sense to take Up Arms here, but I have to figure out what I'm cutting for it. And I don't exactly know yet. Alright, I think it's an easy Alabaster Kirin here. It is another 4-drop, however, but it's just a good card and it flies. So I think I probably cut a Skirmisher, or maybe even 2. I still think I like Clerics more than Skirmisher, even when we're beat down, just because it's so much better against other beatdown decks, especially alongside flyers. It's just nice to play a dude who blocks and gains life while you're beating down with flyers. This is making us 4-drop heavy, taking this Alabaster Kirin, but I don't know how concerned I should be about that just yet. Alright, I don't think we need anything here, so it makes me want to hate the Death Frenzy, which kills a lot of our things. So I'm just going to hate that. Best card, well, I don't want to lose to Villainous Wealth. That's a pretty strong card. Could take the Erase for sideboard, but I'd rather not lose to Villainous Wealth in the long game. Salt Road Patrol's fine. We definitely already have enough 4-drops though. Yeah, we have more than enough 4-drops actually. But I could hate a Barrage of Boulders, but it's not even that great against us. Maybe I'll just hate the Woolly Loxodon. I know it seems weird doing hate picks, but wow, Table to Water Whirl? That's pretty good, actually. I need to think about this, because there's also a Wetland Sandbar in here, which would let me be pretty beat down if I ended up cutting, like, a 4-drop. But Water Whirl is very powerful. I think I'm taking the Water Whirl. That's just strong enough to take. I got to figure out what I'm cutting for it, which I don't know yet. Here's a second Singing Bell Strike, but I'm already skeptical about the first one. But this is a Singing Bell Strike deck, I will admit. Even as much as I loathe Singing Bell Strike, this does feel like a Singing Bell Strike sort of deck. All right, whatever. All right, so we have a good deck. We're 2-color. We have Wingmate Rock, so obviously we're a good deck. Because we have Wingmate Rock and Water Whirl and Treasure Cruise, I'm going to play 17 lands. I think we got to cut one of our 4-drops, so it's probably the Scion of Glaciers. I actually really love Scion of Glaciers, and I think a 2-color deck is where it's going to shine. But my logic is I would like to have a very good spell count to really take advantage of all of our prowess guys, which I guess is what, only 5 dudes. So it's not like a ridiculous amount of dudes, but we actually have, even if I cut this Scion, we still have Take Up Arms and Soul Summons, which are both creatures as well. So we really have 15 creatures with Singing Bell Strike, Force Away, Kill Shot, Smite, Water Whirl, and Channel Harm as our removal. This looks like a good deck. This looks like a very solid deck. And we even have a fixing, oddly enough. to boot, which is kind of nice. So I'm pretty comfortable running it like this. Like I said, the skirmishers are fine cards. I don't think this is a deck for skirmisher really, because I'd just rather have like a 2-drop 2-power guy rather than a 1-drop 1-power flyer. I think that makes more sense to me in my mind. I feel like the 2-power is kind of the make or break it in this format because of the manifest, because of the morph. You really want to be able to trade with them early, especially. I think this is a great looking deck. I'm already very happy. We got Wingmate Rock and Flooded Strand. Both are worth, probably they pay for this draft alone, which is really nice. Going into a draft, having that makes you feel a little bit safer. We're not super color intensive. We have 1 double blue, 1 double white, which is really nice. So we can probably do Flooded Strand with just like an even split. I'm probably comfortable doing that. Although, maybe I'll look again at what our early game is like. Yeah, you know, we're even enough on our early game where I'm going to just do an even split. 8-8 with the 9th being the Flooded Strand. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with this. Overall, I think this is a pretty strong deck. I'd rate it pretty high. Wingmate Rock at least gives it another notch up. So I'd probably rate this maybe like an 8. Probably like an 8 out of 10. Something quite good like that. It looks fairly aggressive. It's got good evasion. It has good removal in blue-white especially, which is kind of hard to come by. It's got good tempo plays. So pretty nice looking deck. I think one maybe option I could have do is like swap the Smite for the Scion, but I kind of like having Smite main deck. It answers some pretty important creatures like the entire uncommon dragon cycle from Fate Reforged and like, you know, Bellowing Saddlebrute and stuff like that, and like a lot of the uncommon dudes, like the entire I guess not Abomination of Gadul, but the entire common cycle otherwise of like the tricolor clan cards. So yeah, I like Smite the Monstrous enough to main deck it here. So cool deck, excited to try it. Yeah, we'll see you round 1.